Hello, I'm Robin Gibson, and this is your Harvard House Money Morsel. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like it and subscribe. Click the bell to get a notification of when we release a new video. I'm sitting today with Willie Pelser. You all know him well. Willie, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you again.
So, Willie, this week we've had the announcement at the release of employment numbers, and the announcement was that we'd shed 119,000 jobs. I know that that's something that you economists look at very closely. Can you give us some color around it, please?
Yeah, Robin, it's one of those statistics that one would expect job shedding, for that matter, if we can use the shedding word, because of the state of the economy.
Yes.
The economy is not performing. We've spoken a lot about it. But unfortunately, it's not a number that you would like to see. It doesn't matter where you are in the cycle, because we are sitting with a extensive unemployed population.
Yes.
So whether it's 119,000 or 200,000 or only 50, if we shed those jobs, it's someone on the street,
Right.
So that's a concern. Where I sort of looked at the numbers, because we have this theme on the construction revival in the country, and unfortunately in that sector as well, we've seen some unemployed or people being retrenched or laid off type of thing. So it is a bit of a concern that it happens in a phase where the construction as a percentage of GDP, capital formation as percentage of GDP is ticking up, but your numbers are still lagging.
Yes.
So it could be temporary workers. They were employed when something, a little project, and now they're laid off because the project does end. So there will always be those swings and roundabouts. But in general, yes, we've got a fairly large unemployed population. But so that's the concern when you look at the number in itself. We're around about 37% of the population is unemployed, but that's official statistics.
Yes.
So we have to take that into account. Stats SA have various definitions. Someone who's looking for a job, then he gives up, then he's unemployed. So so one can argue through those things as to, yes, you're formally employed if you've got a salary that goes through the system.
Yes.
But we must remember there are people who are busy, if I can call it that way.
Yes.
So they might be employed, but not according to the official standard.
Yes.
Of questioning.
So we've written about the informal economy before, and I think we had the privilege of sitting with a presentation by Gigi Alcock, who is understood to be an expert in this area. What's the greater color in terms of the employment stats versus this informal economy, and is there a better picture there?
Yeah, Robin, I think there is a seriously better picture there. And again, just to put the economy in perspective, when we move through the country and you see these poorer areas, your first assumption is unemployed. You see the shacks, you see, some houses are actually better built type of thing, but you see that. And you do think, yes, the official statistics is correct, because 37% of the population is unemployed. We see that.
Yes.
If you go through a major center, you see different side of things. Gigi Alcock, yes, he wrote strongly about the concept of quasinomics. And what's interesting from his stuff is he's on the page that we should ask the question differently from an employment perspective. So, give you an example. He talked through a lady who has changed or renovated her house. So obviously money has been coming from somewhere. It could be a social grant type of thing, doesn't matter. She has a source of money. She added 6 or 7 little rooms. So it's a 1-bedroom principle. She's renting that out. The dynamic behind that is she's putting 125,000 Rand a month in her pocket.
Wow.
She's unemployed.
Yes.
Because she told him, when he asked her, when census or labor statistics ask you, what are you? She says unemployed, because her definition of employment is exactly the official definition. I don't have a salary. So there's no UIF, there's no this, no that. So I'm unemployed in the bigger scheme of things, or the official thing. So in this economy, there's various examples in the informal economy of entrepreneurship. Right. You see it when you travel. I travel a lot with my bicycle through rural areas. There's a little spaza shop. There's an oak with a plank and 2 empty 25-liter drums. He's got lots of sweets and chips and stuff on there. He's employed in the unofficial statistic,
Yes.
and it's not covered by Stats SA.
Right.
But in the informal economy, he is employed because he's in an able position to buy his stock, put it out, sell it to someone. He can pay his rent. He's back to that lady
Yes.
who's got a room. So that's the dynamic, and that's a positive dynamic that we don't necessarily see in official statistics.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an underlying tone in the economy that things are happening differently. It's just not measured.
And would that be kind of where we see the supported consumer? I mean, we're not just talking those who have a job or are getting some sort of grant, but we would see them as a supported consumer because they're part of that economy. Is that correct?
Yeah, Robin, because call it the social grant system reaches those people. And where do they buy? Their supplier, being the spaza shop, he buys from the formal sector.
Yes.
Which is where we focus on. And the formal sector is changing, so we can immediately throw out a name like Boxer. Now, you and I don't shop at Boxer because of location, where it is.
Yes.
It's part of ShopRite.
Yeah.
The other dynamic is, use Capitec as an example. They're also venturing into this informal sector in the sense people have a Capitec bank account. They're selling airtime through that, etc., etc. So that's where we pick up the supported consumer in the informal sector in someone's portfolio.
Okay, sure. Willie, well, that's been very interesting. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye.